When I pull up on you, then I might swear, ayy. Double off deuce, ayy. That just might work, ayy. When I pull up on you, then I might swear, ayy. Double off deuce, ayy. That just might work, ayy. That just might work.
Welcome back to another episode of the Michel Matters Podcast. I'm Jacquelyn Michel.
And I'm Jackie Michelle.
Welcome back.
Hey, guys.
All right.
Yeah.
I guess before we get started into this, I think what's a really good episode. Let's catch everybody up on the last couple weeks.
Yes.
I know for me, first things first, at this point, I am tired of contractors.
I feel like we keep saying that, though.
Yeah,
and then we keep hiring.
It's inevitable. Like, you have to hire contractors, right?
Yeah.
So we're back in the same mess that we've been in over and over.
Yeah.
But my thing is, the work is so
mess.
Simple.
This one actually wasn't that bad. It was just kind of like
just finish.
It was like babysitting the contractor.
Yeah, like this was a 2-day, 3-day max project.
Yeah,
bro, just finish.
It was just sprinklers.
But my thing is, like, bro, just get the work done.
Yeah.
It's a simple job, and I have so much I could go on, but I'm just tired of contractors. And at this point, I could finish it.
Yeah.
But I paid for somebody to do the work, so it's why I finish it.
Yeah. No, you're not finishing it.
Yeah. So I'm. It's killing me.
Yeah. And that again, that's on me, Coach. I feel like I keep finding these.
Yeah.
Contractors.
I don't want to blame you.
That come highly recommended, and then it's like. Why
I ain't gonna lie, the people that you've been getting recommendations from, not solid.
Yeah, I'm not gonna do it anymore. I mean, we don't have anything to do right now.
So. I'm just gonna stop hiring people who don't have like Instagram pages or Google. Yeah.
No, but the ones that we hired had an Instagram page.
I need to see Google reviews. Yeah, and I need to see Google reviews now. Like, it's gone to that point. Yeah. You need to be vetted. I need to know you got some type of insurance or something.
Yeah,
but
I think that's just the way it is.
It is.
Now, I don't know if it's just contractors in South Florida or just I think contractors that's in general. Everywhere.
No, I think that's in general. Contractors are just, and I tell you, anytime, because like I come from the contracting field in sorts, and I tell you every time the number one excuse when they don't want to come to work, and we're gonna call you and say, "Oh, my truck broke down." Truck broke down. That's like. In the excuse book, that's like number one.
Yeah.
When you because this is what I do it all the time. It's like, oh, hey, you guys showing up today? Oh, I mean, they watch. Hey, yeah, my bad. Truck broke down. We'll be there tomorrow though. And it's like,
yeah, but then they don't come tomorrow.
That's
the other thing.
Oh, you got to switch up the excuses. I will give y'all some more, but I'm not. I'm not trying to give away too much sauce. But that's like when you hear truck broke down, you already know that's cap. I'm telling you right now, as a contractor, you hear truck broke down, that's cap.
Yeah, so I don't like it. But yeah, so I think we should be good with the house stuff for now.
I'm done for a little bit.
Yeah, put stuff on pause. I mean, there's really nothing to do.
There's one more thing. I want to paint the house. That's like my personal.
That's light work.
That I want to get done, paint the house. But aside from that, yeah, the major stuff we're done for a little bit.
Yeah, that's light work. And then. We had to leave our house.
Yeah.
For like 3 days.
Yeah.
Because we got it tinted.
So, and I know what y'all thinking. It's not that.
Well, I don't know what you're thinking. I know now because he explained it a little bit to me. But yeah, it's a termite problem in our area. So we tinted our house. And it wasn't until we left because we stayed at a hotel.
Mm-hmm.
And Jocks was like, yeah, we're like the laughing stock of our block. And I was like, What are you talking about? And he's like, because people are going to think we have roaches.
That's a fact.
And I'm like, what? Like, I've never heard of people tinting their house for roaches. I've never heard of a major roach problem.
Listen,
ever.
I'm telling this to, and you guys can comment, send us anything. What are the first things that come to your mind when you see a tent on a house, on a building? Like, what problem do you think they have? Me, I mean, not to sway, but I always grew up thinking they got roaches. So
I always grew up thinking, oh, it's a termite situation.
And I was like,
because as a kid, we tented our house before growing up because of termites. So as soon as I saw the wings, I was like, oh yeah, these are termite wings. Like, whatever.
It's two Miamis because like I feel like
He was like, I didn't even know what termites looked like.
Bro,
I was like, what?
Jackie would like walk around the house like, oh, those are termite wings. And I'm like, how do you know? Like she's some type of like insect, ologist or whatever.
Because I grew up here.
And
duh.
I was like, I didn't even know people tinted their house for termites. As far as I knew growing up, the tent was for one thing and one thing only.
I'm just
baby.
like, what dirty people did you hang out with?
First of all, roaches don't care if your house clean. Like they coming in.
Okay,
you got cracks. They
don't get me wrong. We had roaches growing up, but it was never to the point of like, oh my gosh, we need to tent the house. That's like another level.
I'm not gonna say yes or no, but I may have gotten my house like, hey, because the thing is, and the thing with like getting your house tinted, right, is typically like people.
So y'all was dirty.
People have this fear, right? Like that if once you get your house tinted, whatever like excess roaches you got, they gonna go to their house. Like it's gonna travel. Like it's not gonna end at your house.
Yeah.
So once people see the tent, it's like, oh snap, here they come, right? So it may not have even been from my house, maybe, or allegedly my house, or someone else's house. Like it could have been, a house-to-house situation where they floated.
No.
But I didn't know, and I told Jackie when we came back on Saturday because we were gone, a couple of days. When I came back, I couldn't even look my neighbors in the eye when I seen them on the street. I was just
the same neighbor who had a tent a year ago.
Hey man,
but now you had me thinking like, well, then what did they get tented for? Because I just assumed it was for termites.
Yeah, hey, you know what they say about assuming. But I'm telling you, let me know what y'all think. Are there other did y'all know people was getting their house tented for termites? Like how y'all was termite? I didn't know. Yes. I had no idea. I didn't know that was a thing.
I feel like if you have a roach problem, you just gotta like the Krispy Kreme. Yeah, the Krispy Kreme.
Just start over, knock the house down, just build a new one. Nah, man.
Dead it.
You just gotta call in the reinforcements. That's it.
No.
That's it. You gotta call in the reinforcements. Roaches are gross. Hey man.
Termites is like, okay, it's in the wood. We can kill them.
2 Miamis.
Whatever.
Aside from that, so like when we left, we had to stay somewhere.
Yeah.
And Jackie at first trying to get to stay with her parents, and I was like, nah.
Yeah. Because they barely beat her. So I'm like, why not?
That's not what I was trying to do. So I was like, all right, let's turn this into like, a staycation.
My mind was not on that.
Yeah, man, something light. I was trying to get us down,
So for him, he thought, oh, this is going to be a nice little romantic.
Yeah.
No, but in the back of my mind, I'm like, no, I have to go, drive in front of the house, see if we have any packages, see, make sure the alarm is on, make sure everything's good.
House. I was like,
I drove by every day.
My thing is, if something were to go wrong, what you was going to do? You was going to call the police anyway. So it was like,
maybe I was going to handle it. I don't know.
You was going to handle nothing, man. So I was like, yo, let's go. I had a nice little spot picked out down south. I was like, let's stay somewhere nice. I'm talking like nice, like 4 or 5 star nice. You feel me? Like it was gonna be
use all my points.
Yeah, a vibe. And that's the thing, right? It was gonna be all credit card points. Responsibly use credit cards, points. We still on our financial journey.
We still have points. So we can owe it, but for me, it wouldn't have been a romantic getaway because my mind would have been on these termites.
I hear you.
So I would rather have like a clear head, and you already know, like when we're on vacation, my head is clear, or whatever. So a staycation, I would want my head to be clear as well, and not on. There's a whole project going on. Like my whole house is tinted.
Yeah, like mind you, we didn't stay in like Roach Motel.
No.
But I have a story about that coming up. But it was a nice hotel, but I was trying to stay somewhere like nice.
Yeah.
I had us all set up. I found a good deal.
It wasn't.
I was like,
you were still working, like all that.
Barely.
It wasn't going to be no staycation.
It was going to be nice, y'all. I'm talking like, just some real vibey stuff. Nice little hotel, 5-star room service, all that. And it was going to be paid for with credit card points only. Come on, don't get better than that.
We still have credit card points.
Yeah, but
so
not
we'll do it
enough
another
to.
time.
All right. She don't understand how these points work. So y'all hear me? We never gonna go down there
No, we
unless
are.
all right. If we do, it's gonna be out of pocket. So
Probably
I'm telling you
have.
now, all out of pocket.
Okay.
You heard?
Sure.
Because we have another trip, and we're gonna use the points on that.
Or we might
and it's
not.
gonna be a wrap.
We might pay that out of pocket.
Y'all heard
You
it.
just want to use points. That's the thing.
Yeah,
You're
'cause
so
I'm
point
not-
happy.
We just spent money. I keep spending money.
That's
I'm trying
life.
to not spend money.
That's life. Welcome to adulthood.
Anyway.
So talk about this Roach Hotel.
Oh yeah. So and one of the reasons why I want to stay in a much nicer hotel.
That's.
I just left a bad.
I should have considered your feelings a little more.
Nah,
but I
you
just
wasn't. Your mind wasn't there. You wasn't here with it.
Mm-mm.
But so Top Dogs, the AAU program that we ran, we had our first out of town tournament since our inception. And when I tell you we need donors and sponsors, I am not kidding. Now, but seriously though, I mean, it was good. We actually ended up placing runner-up in the tournament. I don't know what you just put there, but we ended up finishing runner-up in the tournament. So it was like a great basketball experience. But I mean, I'm not getting into specifics about how we ended up where we ended up, but we ended up in a hotel that was very affordable.
That's nice.
And you get what you pay for.
You sure do.
And we didn't pay a lot, so we didn't get a lot.
But here was my question to you.
Mm-hmm.
When you were middle school age, high school age, and going on trips with the basketball team or whatever.
Yeah.
Did y'all stay at nice places?
Nicer, for sure. I've only
nicer to your teenage eyes at the time.
Yeah, but I only remember staying at one bad hotel. I remember staying at one bad hotel.
Got it.
And y'all can look this up. It's still around. It's called the Spinnaker Inn, right? I'll never forget it. Because the thing is,
in Orlando?
I want to say it's in that Orlando area. The thing was, because Fun Spot, right? It's around Fun Spot, I think. That whole thing. When we went on that trip, we pulled up to one hotel and it was beat up, like run down. And our coach got off the bus. He looked and I don't know, he had some type of mix up. He came back on the bus and was like, all right, this is the wrong hotel. And we're like, whew, blew a sigh of relief. All right, we thought we was going to stay at that hotel. Then we went to the next hotel and I'll never forget it. It was Nigel. Nigel was in the back of the bus. He was like,
why are you saying people's names?
Oh, so-and-so. It don't matter. He don't care. This hotel worse than the last one. And it was like, the TV had 3 channels, like off, on, and 3.
Y'all barely finna be in the room?
It doesn't matter.
Yeah. But I'm just saying you're giving these kids the same experience you got. Basically.
I ain't gonna lie. They need to do better.
If
that's
you're
what I
say traveling a lot for these games or more often than not for these games, you're gonna have to find affordable places to stay. And these kids, they don't know.
So logistically,
as long as they get to spend time with each other and they have their own bed or whatever, they're fine.
Logistically, I was like, look, I even told the kids, this will never happen again. I should have sent the parents an email apologizing because I would never let my kids stay in somewhere that looked like this. So I wouldn't. What? And they paid. So look, if you ever need a reason to donate, I know. And that was the other hard part. Because then we got to the gym and the kids were like talking about the experience. Like, oh, where you staying at? Where you staying at? And one of the kids was like, nah, my hotel nice.
We had pancakes.
Yeah, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, so, yeah, it was definitely an interesting experience.
Yeah.
It will never happen again. You don't got to worry. Feel free to donate. Cash App is $ Top Dogs Hoops.
Okay.
Might put that in the description.
I'll put that.
If you want to Zelle, I'll put all that information because it's got to happen. Y'all take care of these kids, man. I'm trying my best, but we need some help sometimes. But yeah, so aside from that, okay, last thing.
I feel like you had a busy.
I did, and I'm still having if you're watching this on the YouTube, you see my hair is while I usually don't ever let it get like this, my fade has grown in completely.
Yeah.
this ain't right, man. My barber's gonna
You used to have a fro in high school.
The thing is, when you get the fade, it's not gonna grow in evenly.
time,
So it's like I could grow a fro if I had it, but I'm already in the fade mode. And I was doing this because I never had any fear with my barber. It was super consistent. We have a great relationship.
Mm-hmm. You know, this is your third barber that we've talked about on the podcast.
It is.
So
no, second.
So no,
third. It's been a journey.
So what's going on with this barber?
Maybe it's me. I'm starting to think it's me.
Common denominator.
Yeah, it might be me. But this, like, I'm even more upset about this one because I felt like, you know, I thought we vibed. I thought we had a connection, a match. It felt real. Mm-hmm. But I don't know. So I usually book him through this app, and I get on the app. His picture is gone off his profile page.
And what retired?
When you but you can still click his name. So I click his name.
Yeah.
And then I click, you know, I want the haircut with the beard, you know, my typical setup. Mm-hmm. And when you go to book the date, everything's grayed out. You can't click anything. And I'm used to him, like, you know, if you catch him like on a Saturday, Sunday, and he's still, you know, getting his schedule ready for the next week, trying to see what days he's available. I thought that's what happened.
Yeah.
Nah, man. Then I waited to Monday and Wednesday, and they got to where like I'm driving by the barbershop now. I'm like peeking in, and I drove by, and his chair was empty. Another time I drove by, all the lights was off, and I'm like, it's not a good look. So
did you ever figure out what happened?
No, I wonder where. I gave him the weekend. I'm gonna text him tomorrow. You know, something like you know, hey big head. I might send him just the eyes emoji. I don't know yet. Something like.
Yeah, I never had these problems with my hair, folks.
This is ridiculous, man.
They're very consistent.
And then I asked one of my friends for a barber recommendation, just in case, you know, I gotta make a quick move because I can't go too much longer with my hair like this. And then he sent me the Instagram page for the barber, and in the bio, all I saw was house calls 150. Like, granted, I'm not doing no house calls, but if you're talking about 150, can I afford you?
Probably a COVID surcharge.
I'm really struggling, man. If you guys have any legit barber recommendations, I'm taking tips. DM them to me. I'm vetting barbers. I'm doing my research.
But you don't even know what happened to this one.
I got a plan. I got a plan just in case.
I got you.
This is unprecedented. Unprecedented. Y'all pray for me. I'm praying for him. I hope he's all right. But if not, y'all need to pray for me because, you know, barber's one of your best friends.
I don't even feel like it's that bad.
It is.
I feel like for me, it's the beard. It just needs to be a little tamed.
Yeah, man. And I'm usually way more like.
Other than that,
I like fresh cuts consistently. Like this is not my life.
You gonna go low again?
I'm gonna have to because I don't know when the next time I'm gonna see him. I gotta like go low just in case he go missing again.
Right.
So yeah, I mean not low, but you know lower.
Like a one.
Whoa, one at the top?
Yeah.
Nah, I just, you know.
You don't do that no more.
Nah, I haven't done a one at the top in a long time.
Okay.
That's trying to get the waves back if I do that.
Yeah.
But nah, you know, just chop as low as you can, but still give me something I gotta use a sponge on.
Got it.
You know what I mean?
So you guys can DM him,
please,
barber suggestions, and you can leave us comments on our social media page. At Michel Matters on Instagram. You can email us, michelmatters@gmail.com. You can
leave us a voicemail.
Yes.
At 954-652-6519.
Yes.
We definitely like that. Just like adding that segment to the podcast. That's real good.
Yeah, that was cool. And the last person who left us a voicemail, we were able to clear some details up. So that was nice.
Yeah.
To kind of like have that back and forth, and it's like, oh, it's through the podcast. But yeah, leave us a voicemail. And if you want to support us, you can go on our website. You can buy merch. Mm-hmm. You can
check out the affiliate links.
The sponsors. Yeah.
Yep.
And then we didn't say your Twitter.
Oh, yeah, I know. Coach_JOX. Okay.
And you can subscribe, and rate us on Apple Podcasts. That's it.
All right. On to the Michel Matter.
Yeah. All right. So for this episode's Michel Matter, we're very excited to have Jacquelyn on to speak on a topic we've briefly touched on our podcast, taking care of our parents in the future. And I saw her videos on Instagram, and I thought her and her mom's relationship just looked so cute that we had to have her on. And yeah, I think how she's managing her life right now will resonate with some of our listeners, whether you're going through it or not. So thank you so much, Jacquelyn, mom of my mom, for joining us.
Yes, no problem at all. The TikTok page, like it got so huge, and the fact that people are like seeing it, it just blows my mind. And I'm so happy that I can pretty much like help people have this conversation.
Yeah.
Because it's one that we don't tend to talk about at all, and it's one that we need to.
Yeah, for sure. So tell us a little bit about yourself. I know you write, I think is what I found out. Yeah. So what do you do? Where you're from? Introduce yourself.
So I'm Jacquelyn. I always like to start out by saying that I stutter, just so that people don't say like, what is going on?
Yeah.
So I just like to start there. I am from Los Angeles, and around 2016, I was living in New York City, and I got a call from my mom's friend saying, there's something wrong with your mom, you need to fly home. And so I ended up flying home like that same week. And I came home to find out that my grandmother, who was diagnosed with Alzheimer's in 2014, was like really far, and that my mom was showing signs of it also. And when I ended up moving home, the mortgage hadn't been paid. They were trying to like foreclose on us. Like, it was just a big mess. Since I'm an only child, there was no one who could help. And it was like really stressful time. My grandmother ended up passing in 2017. And since it's been my mom and I started a TikTok sort of like showing people what it is like to take care of someone who had it. And it went super viral, and the Insta page went viral. And since then, I have been meeting so many people who are going through the exact same story, like so many people who are like young and like, I don't know what to do at all. And so I've just been trying to like impart as much info as I can.
Yeah. Like, I can't relate like fully because it was my grandma, but and I wasn't like her full-time caretaker, but I could just see how much it weighed on like my dad. It was a lot, like, and to have to be the caretaker for two people, I can only imagine like what that stress was like. But aside from that, so before we get more into that, like watching some of your videos, I noticed that you do, at least for me, you do like a really good job editing and stuff like that. Do you have any like background in like video editing, or is it just writing? Because I was like, oh, this is pretty good. It's pretty good content.
Right. So I work in TV, and working in TV kind of means you have to know everything in TV.
Mm-hmm.
And so like I started a YouTube channel like years ago. And so I've like been kind of figuring out how to catch people's attentions and how to cut stories and so on. And so like it's a part of my training, which I think helps to tell succinct stories and helps keep people's attention. Sometimes it doesn't always work out that way, but I do think that falling back on that skill helps a lot.
Yeah. So have you been, like you said, you're in TV. Have we maybe seen anything that you've been a part of?
So, so we've gone viral, but it was like on, I'm sorry, pause.
No.
Dogs are fine.
I'm going to close the door real quick. I apologize.
Okay.
No problem.
Okay. So I worked with Cardi B prior to like her like popping, when she was like, so like she was trying to figure out if she's a singer or like a and I ended up working on a pilot with her, and that actually ended up going viral for every wrong reason ever.
Oh.
And so, yes, you have seen something.
I'm trying to think of what it is. I'm trying to think.
I know. I don't know if it's even out. Her PR folks like said, oh no. And so I don't even know if you can like find it. But I when I left New York, I had to start from scratch. And the thing about working in TV is it's about who you know. It's about like networking and being with people and like helping and so on. And because I was then taking care of two people, I just wasn't given the opportunity to network at all. And so I then switched to writing, because like what people say is that there's so few people who can write solid, that once you have a solid story, people will notice it. And so for the past 5 years, I've just been working on like really becoming a good writer. And so last year in 2020, I got into my my first TV writing fellowship, which then led me to sell my first pilot. And I just recently wrote a second pilot that is currently in round 2 at Sundance. And so like, I'm like working back.
Yeah. And I'm sure that all of that is such a long process. I mean, you have to write it, and then you're saying like there's a round 2 of the pilot. So even before we see a pilot, it goes through all of these, changes and cuts. And stuff.
1.5 million steps, 1 million. And so, I pretty much had to change my career path and even how to get to the place that I still want to, in order to take care of them.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, I guess it maybe was a little easier, I guess, because you're in LA. It's still big city. There's a lot of work there, but it would have been much tougher probably if you had to like go to some rural part of America.
Oklahoma. So I was like,
Yeah.
so I left New York and went to
Right.
Yeah.
So you
North
moved
Dakota.
from New York back home to LA.
Yeah.
What made you decide, I guess, yourself? I'm assuming maybe they didn't have something written out that they wanted care from someone else, or like, were you just like, you know what, I'm just gonna take the burden because I'm the only child instead of having a caretaker? Like, how was that decision made?
It was an entire mess. So excuse me. So my grandmother's insurance policy ended up lapsing because she got a new debit card, and so she like never switched over.
Wow.
And so her insurance, my mom's and mine's, it lapsed. And that happened prior to me flying home even. And so no one thinks that like some tragic type stuff will happen and to then prepare for that. But I think there needs to be much more prep about talking about like what would happen were something, and I especially think that it's very important with like my people, because like the burden that then gets placed on top of people who already are like having a, like it's pretty hard out there. And so it's just like layer on top, on top, on top, on top, on top. And so like having that conversation with your parents and like making them have that talk is, I think, really important. But I also think that the way we view the end of life has to change in order for us to not fear death.
Yeah.
And so because I think we fear it, we then choose not to like, and
things, right.
Yeah. And so I just think like we all die. And I think that were we to all really know that and ponder on what that means, not only would we be more precious with life, but we would prepare for when that time comes also.
Yeah. So like, I guess if you could like speak to your younger self, or if you could talk to maybe someone who's about to go through it, like what are the questions we should ask? Like, I think part of it is we don't even know
where to start.
Like how to have the conversation. Like, what are some important first questions and things to get in order?
I think knowing if your parents have life insurance is important.
Mm-hmm.
I think, okay, so Black Americans are 2 times as likely to get Alzheimer's. And And they're 2 times as likely, specifically because of the pressures of systemic racism. And so, like, literally, systemic racism tires us out.
Jeez.
Right.
Yeah.
And figuring out ways to combat that, self-care, so on. But I think, like, we especially need to be very aware of having these sort of talks. And I think it's just as simple as like, just like, hey, so you're turning 60 soon. Like, what's up? Like, like slowly started, and then just kind of like maybe ask 1 week and then take 1 week off and then be like, okay, so I'm just gonna, tap into it a bit. Because I know without a shadow of a doubt that my mom would be livid if she knew that I gave up my life.
Wow.
And she would have much rather had us talk about it.
Yeah. What were some of the signs that you noticed? Because I know you got a call from a friend, but once you got home, of course you saw like certain bills weren't being paid and things weren't getting taken care of. But as far as your grandma and your mother's personalities or health changes, what did you notice from them?
Yeah, so with my mom specifically, she would ask me one question, and then she would ask me that same question like 5 minutes later. And it was like sort of like that, starting with that. We really, really, really knew something was wrong when my mom got into a car. She was driving home from work. And she was driving home from work, and a drive that would usually take 15 minutes ended up taking 2 hours.
Wow.
And so like that was sign number 1. But people have like signs where like it's like my grandma got into 2 car accidents and we still haven't taken her keys yet, and we're just like, what are you doing?
Yeah.
Yeah, but like not taking care of finances, not able to like balance a check, but as if people do that anymore,
Right.
But yeah, it kind of got to a point where like mom can't even put her shoes on the right feet now. And so like it's seeing that they're just not as sharp. You kind of just have to be really in tune with who they are, and then what changes start.
Yeah, I know you said your mom would be livid if she knew that you stopped living your life. What are some options you think that maybe you guys should have discussed, and are there any that you're still looking into, like for the future?
Yeah, so long-term care insurance is specifically for people who like mentally don't have who don't have their mental faculties. And so looking into long-term care insurance is really important. But I also think that the way our system in the United States is set up, we're not set up for it. So Biden has actually said, he's like, so the next thing that we're going to tackle as a country is Alzheimer's. And that's because statistically right now, people are starting to get it at younger ages, but people are living longer. And so we're currently having increase of population of people who don't have the amount of people that we need to then care for them. And so we don't have any answers right now. Caring, like looking for care homes right now start at about $6,000 a month.
Wow.
Exactly. And then caring for someone who maybe needs 24-hour care from home,
Yeah.
it'll start you at like $5,000 a month. And so like it's all just a money pit. Yeah. And we don't have the wages, we don't have the people, we don't have a system set up. Like there are foundations who are trying to help out and but it's not enough. I'm sorry. This sounds really sad and I feel like I am making y'all just like, oh.
No, but it's real, you know?
No, yeah. Which is why I'm so adamant about talking about it and sharing and like my most recent pilot is about this exact story because we don't have anyone teaching people.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So like I remember when my dad was going through it with my grandma, it was easier because it was like a group of us. Like it was my mom, my dad, me, my brother. So when you need to do certain things like go out, go to the store, how do you arrange it with a parent that's, can't necessarily even wash themselves anymore?
Right. Woo. So I am blessed in the sense that my grandma left me a 5-bedroom home. Nice. The mortgage isn't paid off, so I'm still like, blah, blah, blah. But what I've been able to do is fill it up with people that I personally know who are committed to helping me.
Okay.
And so like when I go to the store, someone you don't have to watch her but having someone home helps.
Yeah, of course.
And which is why community care is, I think, so important. And building your tribe and your people who know that you have their back. It's the only thing that we can do right now while we have this system that's not working for anyone.
Yeah. Wow. So what does a day in the life kind of look like? I mean, I know right now we're in COVID, so I'm assuming you're working from home, or as a writer, you can work from home. Like, how do you kind of do life?
Yeah. So life for me is waking up really early. I wake up at 5:30, 6 o'clock. I mean,
okay.
Mm-hmm.
I journal. I've really started to take self-care really important. I work out, because statistics show that you can lower your risk of getting it by 30% just by working out. I do that, and then I head home, and then I see her, and I'm like, "Hey, how are you?" And she's like, "Hey, what's up?" And then I give her food, and when she's like sitting and just sort of like chilling, I get my laptop and I sit right next to her, and my day is pretty much me with my laptop, either following her or sitting and, hey, sometimes we'll sit in the car. Sometimes we'll since we're vaccinated, we'll go to the park. But during COVID, I've had to keep her from people because she'll just walk up and be like, "Hi, how are you?" And like hug and so on. And I like it was like, no, you need to stay. You need to sit at home. And so most of the day is just me working, and then we'll have like a set time for either like painting or some sort of like activity. But now that COVID is almost over, her senior center opens up again. And so she'll spend about 5 hours there socializing and seeing people and so on. And so I'm really excited. Yeah.
That's good. How about like, it's really like having a child. Like it's really
like having a child that stays a child for forever.
Right. How does this affect like other aspects of your social life, like dating or happy hours or whatever, vacation?
Yeah, all that.
Yeah.
So it's funny. Oh man, vacations. Okay, so it's funny you asked that question because I just made a TikTok and I was like, dating an Alzheimer's caregiver is like dating a single parent. But men like the fact that you take care of your parent, but only like it when it doesn't feel like you're a single parent. And so like, it's like you like the fact that I take care of my mom, but you don't like the fact that I'm literally like tied to taking care of her, you know? And so it's been really interesting because it confuses like men even. They're like, she's her family. Like, yeah, that's awesome, but we got to pay somebody every time we hang out. You know, it's, And so, and as far as vacations, 24-hour care is $200 a day. So I got to pay out of pocket about $1,200 before I even fly out of town.
Wow.
That's deep.
Yeah, because then they would stay with her. I mean, they would stay at your house while you're gone.
Yeah.
And
so
then,
like sometimes I can cheat that, but it's only because I have people here.
Right. That's true. And so I guess in your case, it's a little different, but for the general, I don't know, person, I know this is not general at all, this circumstance, but I guess you would work that into your price as a caregiver. Like, is $200, would that include them cooking for her, or would you have to like meal prep certain things before you go? You know, like what kind of comes with some of that stuff?
Right. So here's where community care is so important. The woman that takes care of my mom took care of my father's mom, and she also cared for my grandmother. And so she's very in tune, like with what we need. She'll cook, she'll, tidy up. She's awesome. But when you're just, hiring someone from some site, that takes time. You have to like build rapport and so on. And so like it's really all about who your person is and the relationship and how easy your person is to care for also. My mom, she's super sweet. My grandmother, on the other hand, people were charging me out like way up because she was just so hard.
Yeah.
And so like it's like, it's really just luck of the draw. However, it's also just like a situation that needs to be talked about soon on.
Yeah. You're about to say
Oh,
something?
well, no, I was gonna say, so like I want to say it was your grandma. You made I think it was a YouTube video about when you threw water on her, and I was like, it was rough. I could tell like it was really difficult, and I could just see it because once again, like with my grandma, we kind of went through similar things. Like my grandma got really aggressive, or she would like do things that would eventually like really become dangerous. But I guess it's good that your mom is. I guess there's different ends of the spectrum, and it goes different ways. But um, having your mom a little easier to deal with, I guess, it makes it better.
I can form memories with my mom.
Okay.
I can still have like moments. With my grandmother, when I flew home, I realized that she had pretty much passed, like the woman that I knew her to be had passed away without me even knowing.
Right.
And so you like lose someone without knowing, which I think was the hard part of it, because you don't know how to, like, we don't talk about how to mourn someone who is here. And so like for me, that's been the hardest part, was like, how do I be sad about it while caring for her, while also like sometimes hating her, like while feeling like lonely and sad, but there's so few people. Like when I ended up flying home, I was 29. And so like no one knew what was going on. No one could say, oh man, so sorry. Like no one could give that to me. And so it was just a very lonely place, which is also why I think like starting the social is so important, because we are out here and we are staying home all day. And so we're not like meeting people. And if I can just like let someone know, like, it's not just you, that would have helped me so much.
Yeah. What made you decide to start recording with, moments with your mom? Was it like to keep some memories as she was, losing some of her memories, or like, what was that for you?
So I think that's definitely part of it. I think a lot of it was also were home. We were home all 2020. And
Right.
I was like, let's do something.
Yeah.
And so it's actually helped me enjoy taking care of her a lot more. So like once I started it, it helped me identify. It helped me identify, but also like the fact that I call myself a caregiver. Like I didn't identify with it at all. I was like, this isn't what I want to do. This isn't like who I am. And also like, it's not who I am. There are some people who just naturally are like, I love caring for people. That is, blah, 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 blah. I'm not, I don't think I'll ever take care of another person who has Alzheimer's in my life. This is it. But like, it's helped me learn to identify with it. And it's helped me like learn to love it. I also feel so happy that I can help people, like being in contact with other people. And that's what makes it fun for me is having people say like, girl, I understand. And I'm like, really? Someone understands? And so it's also like finding a community of people who see it.
Yeah.
So you're still pretty young, right? So what are the things that you do to, I don't know, like, I don't want to say just self-care, but like, you still deal with a lot, but I know you have to unwind. What are the things that you do to kind of make light of what would probably be heavy at times?
Yeah. So I picked up roller skating over quarantine, and I love it so much. Like I probably skate like four times a week.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, like I'm all about it now. I'm like, on top of that, having friends live here has been the best choice that I've made.
Yeah.
So like when my mom, like when she's just having her own session, sometimes I'm like, bruh, my mom is on one. And they'll say like, yeah, she is. And I'm like, okay, cool. So like having that like moment with someone where I'm not just in this house by myself has really helped. I'm also working out because I feel hot girl summer is about to happen. Like I didn't get my 2020, I'm getting my 2021. And I will hire as many caregivers as I need to hire in order to have what I feel was taken from me last summer. So like I'm very much so like not the type who is like, I need to stay home and I need to make sure that she's, because I was that person and that didn't help me at all.
Yeah.
And also 2020 like showed me like, girl, you could stay in the house or you could stay in the house. Like, would you like to not stay in the house? And I'm like, that's I don't want to stay in the house. And so like, it's really just about valuing myself and my needs and my life more than my mom's, but still like making sure she's okay, but still like knowing that like, girl, you're young, you need to have fun. Yeah. And I think because I've like kind of figured that balance out now, it took me years, but I'm ready,
Yeah, that's good. What are some, because I guess I'm assuming your grandmother, it was from your mom's side.
Yeah.
We're also taking care of. Are there any things like if you've met with your doctor that they've told you like if you do certain things can kind of, obviously exercising and stuff can decrease your chances of Alzheimer's? And
so
what are some of those things that you're doing?
So oddly enough, my grandmother and my mother got it from a freak accident. So we had a furnace that was leaking carbon monoxide into our home. And that's
Wow.
pretty much how they got it. I know. Whew. Um, but the age that most people get tested for the gene is at 40. And so I still plan to get tested.
Mhm.
But what's crazy is that my grandmother's youngest sister does not have it. My grandmother's oldest sister had it. But their lifestyles were polar, like opposites. Like one lived by herself her entire life. The food she ate wasn't good. She never traveled and saw new things. And having that sort of lifestyle is what I think brought hers on. What doctors say is that the one thing that you can do now is learn something new all the time. Like take a new driving route home. Shop at a new store. Making sure that you're not doing the exact same routine means that you're like subconsciously taking in new things. Something that they say is really great once you get higher in age is to learn a new language. And so forcing yourself to just kind of not get set is what is most important, because the mind is a muscle also. And so we have to continue working it for forever, which is why seniors, once they start retirement, they're not mentally like working anymore.
Yeah.
So that slowly, it just slowly atrophies their mind.
Yeah. I don't know.
No, those are good tips. And I feel like I don't know, maybe because at our ages we're kind of like hustling all the time.
Yeah.
We don't really realize that we are doing those things. If you're out, it's like, oh yeah, I'll just stop at this store. And it's just like, well, the layout is different. You kind of have to figure out where the bread is here and stuff. But yeah.
Same. I also think that millennials and younger generations like might not have it that much because we're not staying at the same job for forever. Like we're always like, I got to do this, I got to do that, I got to, And so I just think that like naturally as a generation, we're not so like settled. Like we travel. I don't think my grandma has ever been out the country at all.
Wow.
Yeah. So like naturally as we tend to explore more and see new things and we continue that like for forever, I think that this won't be as much of an issue, but I'm not a doctor.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Make the disclaimer.
Yeah. I don't know.
Right. But I think everything that you have, provided on this episode has been really helpful.
Yeah.
And just something to take note of, for whoever is going through it or might go through it, even if it's not Alzheimer's, it could just be caring for a sick loved one. Yeah, disabled, whatever the situation may be. So we really appreciate all the information that you've given. Definitely want you to like plug your TikTok.
Oh,
Yeah, the stuff you're working on, your YouTube, all of that.
Thank you.
I love watching.
I appreciate that. Thank you. I really try my content. Mom of My Mom. You can find my mom and I at Mom of My Mom on TikTok and Instagram. You can also just go to momofmymom.com because we have that now. So I'm excited about that. And it's pretty much just me sharing tips and tricks and just the everyday life of taking care of someone who has Alzheimer's, and also like the life of me trying to live a life while taking care of someone who has it. And so I just hope that it's interesting and that it is helpful, and that me, really striving to continue being the full human that I aim to be. Like, it helps people see that there is still a way that it can happen.
Yeah.
Nice.
And as far as like anything you write, I don't know if you want to plug something we can look out for, or even something that you put out already that you think deserves more recognition. I'm here.
Is there something that you're trying to get me to plug right now?
I don't know. I'm just saying, because you said you've written stuff, but I want to. What can I go watch?
We want to
see
watch. Yeah.
Oh, I got you. So like selling a show and then having a show made are two separate things. I got the check, but I don't have the check. So like it's a process. However, if you want to see a web series that I did write,
Okay.
and
I love those.
You can type in see this series, so like the letter C and then the series, and it's on YouTube under my YouTube channel. It is a web series that I put out the beginning of 2020, but I ended up writing it in like 2019. And it is a cool representation of some of the stuff that I write.
Okay.
All right, cool.
All right. And if you ever feel motivated, you can write me into anything.
I mean, look, we can talk about it.
Hey, I'm here. I got a couple extras I could bring. We can make it happen.
We always are looking for extras, so you definitely got to roll now.
Okay.
All right, bet.
Thank you so much for stopping by.
Thank you for having me. This was really great.
Awesome.
Cool. Thank you.
Thanks. So this week's business spotlight is a very special one. This is my friend Quishana Henry's business, and it is Muffhens. It's Muffhens, but it's Muffhens Bakery.
Yeah.
So her last name is Henry, so it's Muffhens.
I see what they did there. I see what they did.
Yes, and it is allergy-free, vegan, all of the things, natural, organic muffins. She has 3 flavors at the moment. I think it's cinnamon. Let me get the names right. I know one is chocolate drop, sweet cinnamon, and good blues. And I like the good blues one. Yeah. The blueberry. It was really good.
Yeah. We were like in the trial period. So we tasted some before she put them out. And I think she even tweaked the recipe a little bit after. But I think she's got it. She got what she wanted. And they're really good.
Yeah. Yeah. I think like with vegan stuff, vegan desserts, I have had bad experiences But finally, when she got the recipe down, I was like, yes, this is moist. This is good. Like, I'm perfect. And then I was also like, she's tweaked like different sizes that she offers. So if you get the big muffin, it's well worth it. Like, it's so good. And she also has cookies. So she has like morning joy breakfast cookies, and she does oatmeal bakes. If you are in the Tampa area, she's in certain cafes and like vegan restaurants who want to provide, different stuff during their brunches or whatever. So they'll provide her muffins. So that's exciting to see her grow.
Yeah, and I think she's also available for like catering. If you want to do meetings, you want to get your muffins in and some. So she'll do catering and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So definitely check them out. We'll put all their social media information in the description. But yeah, I mean, we enjoyed it. We were early, so we tasted it from the beginning, and now we've supported since.
Oh yeah. And I love stuff like this because, she started the business. You'll have to go on the website and, read the story. But one of her sons is like deathly allergic to tons of things. And she was just trying to figure out like, what can I feed this child, And I was that child growing up, like allergic to a bunch of stuff. And, you have the other kids who can enjoy all this cool desserts, and you're just here like, have my apple or whatever, you know what I mean? Like, you want to be a part of it.
Yeah.
Why are you laughing?
Because it's these treats.
It is. That's how I grew up. Like, everybody was having their Reese's, and I was just like, I can't eat that, bro.
You can't relate. You can't relate.
So this is a really great option, and I think a lot of products now kind of cater to that.
Yeah, they're moving that way.
Yeah. So just to be safe, but yeah, check them out, muffhens.com, and we'll put the Instagram and all that below so you guys can order.
All right.
Yeah, that's it.
All right, another episode in the books. See ya.
Bye.
Peace.
I pull up on you, then I might swerve, ayy. Double off deuce, ayy. That just might work, ayy. When I pull up on you, then I might swerve, ayy. Double off deuce, ayy. That just might work, ayy. That just might work. That just might work.